All right, cool. So we're recording. So here we go. I'm going to launch back right into where we were. So we're talking tonight about challenge groups being our foundation for the business. Assuming you guys can see my PowerPoint. If not, then please unmute yourself and let me know because I cannot see you. So here we go. So let's start with our announcements. So like I said, we've got some groups going. We've got 22-minute hardcore starting up on Monday. So keep promoting that challenge pack promotion in our group. Even if somebody can't start on Monday, it's still worthwhile to be talking about that. PIO group starts on March 22nd. That challenge pack is also discounted to $140. And then we have our next sneak peek happening on Monday, March 29th from 9 to 10 p.m. And then certifications. If you did not sign up for Insanity Cert, or if you did and you just want to get certified in more than one thing, then you can sign up for Insanity or P90X certification at RevX happening on Saturday, April 16th. So that's a brand new thing. It might not even be on the website yet. So if you go to P90Xcertification.com and it's not there, just keep checking back because I just submitted the paperwork on Sunday. The very next day, my studio is offering what we're calling a Don't Skip the Yoga workshop. So essentially what that means is obviously as coaches, we see a lot of people say that they don't like the yoga. And so our purpose is to really just educate mostly coaches on, the importance of yoga in a program and the importance of it just for balance in your life in general. So it's going to be a really cool thing. My yoga instructor, who's really a great mentor for me, is going to be helping me lead that. And I just thought it'd be a really cool thing to pair that up with the P90X cert in case we have people coming in from out of town who want to do both. So the Eventbrite link is in the team page for the yoga workshop. Super Sunday, you guys probably saw my post yesterday. The ticket link is live for Eventbrite. So that was posted yesterday. You can just do a quick search for Eventbrite or Super Sunday and you should be able to find that. I'll be leading a personal development training piece of the Super Sunday event. So it should be pretty cool. We're doing a book swap, a hybrid workout. We've got some great information coming from corporate and that you won't want to miss because I actually know a little bit of it. I think it's really exciting. It's happening at the Ritz-Charles in Carmel. If you're not local to Indiana, I'm sure there's a Super Saturday or Super Sunday near you. So you can check your events section of your Coach Online office to find out. And then of course, Coach Summit. You're going to hear me talk about Coach Summit now every week on the webinar. So if you're not registered, get on the wait list. CoachSummit2016.com. It's at the end of July and it's going to be a rock solid good time. I even know for a fact that our team will be recognized. So let's dive straight in. So I want to talk to you guys tonight about challenge groups. Challenge groups really are the foundation for our business. If we weren't running challenge groups, I don't really know what we'd be doing. So my main takeaway for you tonight, there's not even more than one. There's really just one. And that is that if you're not inviting to, leading, participating in, recruiting from, and centering your business around challenge groups, you're really just messing around. You're really just playing around. So if you think that you're in this business to work this as a business and you're not taking advantage of challenge groups in its entirety, what it can mean for your business, you're really missing out on the whole point. So I'm going to dive into, how far this has evolved, what it looks like for our team, and sort of the activities that you should be focusing on to make challenge groups your foundation for your business. Okay, so first, just a basic definition in case we have, and by the way, if you have not muted yourself, make sure that you mute your audio. You can do that by just clicking the mute button in the bottom left corner of your Zoom. Okay, so what is a challenge group? In case you're a new coach, I just want to kind of make sure I define this for you. A challenge group means a lot of different things. It means accountability, it means support, it means motivation, it means knowledge, and it also means where the magic happens. So without challenge groups, we really don't have any sort of support system or else it would kind of rely on just our individual relationships with everybody we're talking to. So challenge groups are a great way to kind of just create an environment where magic happens, where the support and accountability happen for people. A lot of people will tell you that they own P90X. It's sitting on their shelf. It's accumulated dust in the corner. Or they're really trying to eat better and they're going to that salad bar at Kroger every day. But what they don't have, they might not have Shakeology. They might not have, the support and accountability of a coach or a challenge group. In my opinion, I think our team does these the best. I really think if there was ever a competition amongst Team Beachbody as far as who runs the best challenge groups, I really think we'd win it because we're consistent, which is always the most important thing, and we do things really well. So The challenge group essentially is just that support system, typically held on Facebook, a group on Facebook where the magic happens. We have team-led groups, which are sort of the Body Electric groups, like I mentioned before, 22-Minute Hardcore and PiYo coming up. Or they can be groups that you lead. You could also lead challenge groups outside of Body Electric on your own as well. So as you guys know, our business, or Beachbody in general, is based on the foundation of fitness, nutrition, and support. Support is the group, right? Support is the challenge group that we're talking about. When you combine those three components together, moving your body, eating right, and having the support of a group, you have success. You have, in other words, results. So if you were to have fitness without support, you would have a gym, right? A gym this is sort of an analogy for you. A fitness facility, for the most part, an LA Fitness or a YMCA or something like that, it's a really great place to go work out, but the support system might not be there. Maybe you do have an accountability partner that you need at the gym or something like that. But for the most part, a daily, consistent somebody that has your back, or a group of people that have your back, doesn't exist with a gym for the most part, right? So fitness without support would be similar to a gym. And nutrition without support would be what? A lot of people cheating on their nutrition plan, a lot of people cheating on their diet. So the cool thing is that Beachbody packages this whole thing together in one. They really package it as fitness, nutrition, and support. So support is the secret sauce. There are other companies out there that offer fitness. There are gyms out there that people can join. There's also nutritional supplements people can purchase. There are places like GNC where people can go in and they can buy nutritional products. Diet plans, diet books, you guys name it. The support is the missing ingredient. It's the secret sauce. It is what makes Beachbody Beachbody. It's what makes us successful as coaches. So that's why we embrace the power of a challenge group. Okay, so a little backstory for you guys about challenge groups, because I know a lot of you guys have entered the business in the last 2 or 3 years. I've been in this business now for almost 6 years. And by the way, if you guys could mute, I get really distracted really easily. So make sure you're muting yourself on the call. Thank you. Okay, so a little backstory. 6 years ago, when I first started as a coach, we had no concept of challenge groups, no concept of challenge packs for that matter. So we had programs like P90X, Insanity, Turbo Fire, Brazil Butt Lift, all those sort of what we call now older programs, which is kind of cool really, that Beachbody keeps up to date so well with fitness and the science of revolutionary fitness. But we didn't have challenge packs either. So my job as a coach was to really, most of the time, talk to somebody about something they were familiar with, like P90X, and try to kind of persuade them to also be interested in the nutrition component with Shakeology. Didn't work out so well. Most people had heard of the brands like P90X and Insanity and stuff like that. They would see it on an infomercial. They would reach out to me as a coach. And then my job would be to try to get them on Shakeology, because at that time, we knew how powerful Shakeology was, even though there was only 2 flavors. And we also knew that, you know, people would have better results with Shakeology, not to mention that Success Club was founded on sales of Shakeology only. So 6 years ago, you would only get 1 point for every person that ordered Shakeology HD. Fitness programs did not count for you at all. So this is I'm telling you this for a reason, because what we have now to offer is absolutely incredible. The fact that they package it all together, fitness, nutrition, and support with your coach all in one, is brilliant. It makes it so easy to truly be able to help people in all areas of that toolkit, right? The fitness, nutrition, and support. So I tell you that backstory because if you're thinking right now that it's really hard for you to sell somebody a challenge pack or to talk to somebody about a challenge pack, you have no idea how much harder it would have been had challenge packs and challenge groups not existed. So we really need to embrace what challenge groups can do for your business. To be completely honest with you, a small percentage of coaches, the way it sort of evolved was there were a small percentage of coaches 5-6 years ago who were trying to figure out how to make this work and how to make Shakeology non-negotiable for their customers. And so they started putting together Facebook groups or Skype calls. You guys remember Skyping? They put together these Skype calls where they would have check-ins with their challengers, which at that time were just their customers, to talk to them about Shakeology, check in with them about their workouts every day. So my first challenge group that I ever ran was in November 5 years ago. And I had 4 people, I think 4 women in my challenge group. And we got on similar to Zoom, but we got onto a Skype call every Sunday night to check in on how they were liking their shakes, what they were mixing them with. Please click mute. Please click mute. Whoever's chatting. I can't exit out here. Hang on. I gotta make sure you guys are muted. So, okay, I think we're set. So that's kind of a little backstory on how, challenge groups really started. So when you start thinking, boy, this feels hard, make sure you remember the fact that we started kind of old school with challenge groups, and it started to succeed because in those Skype calls and in those small groups, people were seeing results. They were getting to know other people that were on similar journeys. They were drinking their Shakeology and they were working out every day, and they started to see results. And because a small percentage of coaches were doing that and were having success with that, Beachbody then embraced it, and they created challenge packs and sort of created that foundation for challenge groups for our business. So that's just a little background for you to know. So let's dive into the meat of what I want to talk to you guys about tonight. Why are they so important? So let's address first and foremost why the challenge groups are so important. Challenge groups are important because they act as a habit and lifestyle change agent. Okay, so if you're taking notes right now, that would be a good thing to write down. Challenge groups act as a habit and lifestyle change agent. If someone takes a challenge group seriously and they check in every single day with their workout, with what inspired them, and with their nutrition, that simple check-in and accountability is helping them create new habits and change their lifestyle. Isn't that cool that that's something that we stand for? We're not just a company selling product. We're not a company just selling a shake or a company selling a fitness program. We're a company that's really trying to be change agents for people with their lifestyles. Challenge groups are also important because they inspire positivity, which sometimes, in some cases, people aren't getting elsewhere. Even for me, when I first started as a coach, I wasn't surrounded by a lot of positivity. I was in a very negative environment at work. And challenge groups and Beachbody people in general were really my first introduction to positivity and personal growth. Challenge groups are also important because they're simple, because it's really simple for somebody to do an at-home workout program, to not have to go to the gym, to be able to press play in their pajamas at 6:30 in the morning, to be able to blend a quick shake in 2 minutes to take for their breakfast, and to just check in on Facebook because they're already on Facebook anyway. Okay, challenge groups are simple. And then last but not least, they're important because they show our challengers that we as coaches are no different from them and that they too can do what we do. 6 years ago, when I was leading Skype calls, there was this sort of difference in person. They looked to me as the leader. They looked to me as sort of an authority or somebody who knew about more about nutrition, or, I was supposed to be the master motivator. And that didn't work so well because we were Skyping and it was just weird. But now that we have these awesome challenge groups where people get to know each other and they get to have that positive energy surrounding them, and they're checking in every single day because it's so simple, they're seeing that they can do this too, right? They see that really coaches are people just like them who are paying it forward. So those are the reasons why challenge groups are so important and the reason why we've decided to talk about it tonight. So I broke this down into what I'm calling the 5 functions of coaching. Because like I said, challenge groups are the core of our business. So therefore, what we do as coaches should center around challenge groups. So these are the 5 functions of coaching, in my opinion, and how they center your business around challenge groups. The first thing, like I already mentioned, participating in. You yourself must be participating in a challenge group. Okay? Now, let me clarify. If we have a PIO group, a 22-minute hardcore group, and a fixed group, does that mean that you're doing 3 programs at one time? No, it does not. It means that if you have challengers in those groups, you are checking into those groups. If you're doing PIO right now, but you have a challenger in the 22-minute hardcore group, you're posting about your PIO workout in the 22-minute hardcore group because you're setting an example for your challenger that this matters to you too. So it kind of goes back to being proof the products work. We're setting the example. We're participating in the group ourselves. The second thing is inviting to the groups. We have to be inviting to the challenge groups. You've got to be consistent in your invitations, putting them out on social media, having private conversations with people, simply asking people to join you. Okay, so inviting to challenge groups is one of the 5 functions of coaching. Number 3 is leading them, leading the challenge groups. If it's a team-led group, maybe you sign up to lead a day. Or if you notice that there's somebody, nobody's really posted a motivational image in a while, maybe you take ownership of that and you provide some inspiration, whatever speaks to you. But you need to be taking ownership in the groups, whether team-led or your own. You got to be leading them yourselves. And then, of course, the 4th function is recruiting from them, recruiting from the challenge groups. We know that the best coaches were challengers first. Okay, so it's therefore important for us to be keeping in close contact with our challengers in case that ever becomes an opportunity that they want to pursue. Why is that? Let's just pause on that. Why is it that our most successful coaches in the network were challengers first? Because why? Because they created a lifestyle change involving the same activities that a coach does. They've participated in the activity every day that makes a great coach. They've become proof the products work. They're checking in for accountability. They're already ready to rock and roll as a coach. The 5th function of coaching is to simply, again, center our business around how can I make my participation, my invitations, my leadership, and my recruiting for challenge groups better. The question you should ask yourself every day is, how can I make the experience that I'm providing better? How can I make it better? I ask myself that a lot, which is why our team has a 21-day fix video guide, because I saw a need for people who aren't on Facebook, who still need accountability and support, to have it. So we created a 21-day fix video guide. That's just an example. I'm always asking myself the question, how can I make this experience so valuable to people that they offer referrals, they continue to stay engaged, they change their life because they have that exceptional value. So be asking yourself, how can I make this experience better? So provide exceptional value. I want to do a quick shout out to Jill, who's I think maybe on here. I can't see you guys right now. But she's a newer coach on our team, and recently she kind of blew my mind. She's a new coach and single mom, and she's rocking it. And she told me recently that she purchases 21-day fix, or the Fix 8 cookbooks. She purchases them in bulk, so she orders a few at a time, and she gives them out to her challengers. So anybody participating in the 21-day fix, which is kind of her wheelhouse, gets a copy of the Fix 8 cookbook. So she's going out of pocket, $20 per person. I'm not saying that you have to do that. I'm just giving her a shout out because I loved her answer when I asked her about it. I asked her why she does that. And she said because, first, she's so in love with that cookbook, mostly, that she wants to offer exceptional value to her customers and coaches. You know what I predict? I predict that Jill will have a really good, easier time with kind of creating long-lasting results for people and long-lasting results in her business because she's providing exceptional value. Her relationship with her customers is just beginning when they order a challenge pack. It's not ending. So if you're treating your customers or your challengers like a challenge pack sale, if you're treating them like 2 more points and throwing them into the group, are you really providing the best value that you can be providing? In my opinion, your relationship really starts when the person decides that they want to become a challenger of yours. Okay, so maybe that's just a mindset shift for you. And kudos to Jill for offering exceptional value to her challengers. So I want to make sure that I tap into a couple of things that I mentioned, because I did kind of glaze over those 5 functions of coaching. Obviously, I have to keep this somewhat condensed and 60,000 foot view. But a word about inviting to challenge groups. This is just a little bit of advice from me to you. Nobody in your Facebook world really knows what a challenge group is. Challenge group is sort of a term that Beachbody coaches know. It's something that Beachbody Corporate has kind of deemed, the phraseology for what we do. But the outside people don't know what a challenge group is. So my advice to you is to define it to them. I think about the fact, I was just talking to my mom this week, And I was telling her that I was going to order a dress online to take on the cruise ship. And she was like, well, what does it look like? And I was telling her what it looked like. And it was funny because she was like, that sounds awful. And I was like, well, thanks, Mom. Great. But the funniest thing is her words to me were, I would never buy a dress online. And I said, why? And she was like, well, because you don't really know what you're going to get. Like, you don't really know what it's going to look like. You don't know what it's going to feel like. You don't know if it's heavy. You don't know if it's going to fit, right? That's kind of how people feel about buying into anything. So if they don't know what a challenge group is, it's up to you to define it in the best detail that you can, to really show them what it is to be a part of your challenge group. Maybe that means screenshotting some testimonials or some check-ins from people from our challenge groups, showing them literally the type of experience that they'll be having surrounded by people like that. It's why we created the 21 Day Fix promotion video for our team. We wanted to really give people a true look at what it means to be in a challenge group of ours. So define to your customers, whether it's in a public post or privately or both, define a challenge group to them. Tell them what it means. And in my opinion, if I were you, I would stick to talking about it as if it, call it an accountability group or an online accountability group or a support group. People understand that phraseology a lot better than a challenge group. And then, of course, this is sort of the cream of the crop for this content tonight, which is, a short word about recruiting. The winning formula in this business, period, is this. Like, if you were to ask me, like, how do I become successful as a Team Beachbody coach, I would just take this little chart that I created here, which was amazing that I could figure this out today. I would take this little chart and I would show it to you. This is the cycle of a Beachbody coach. This is what makes a Team Beachbody coach successful. The winning formula is you invite to a challenge group. You then invite the challenger that said yes to your challenge group to the coaching opportunity. And then when that person enrolls as a coach, you invite them to invite to their challenge groups. You teach them to duplicate the activity that you did in inviting them to a challenge group. That's the magic formula of becoming a successful coach. The first challenge group I ever ran was 5 years ago with 4 women. 4 women who said yes, who took a chance on me, who ordered Shakeology, who checked in with me on Skype every Sunday night. That was how this started. Our 21 Day Fix group right now as a team has close to or maybe more than 200 people in it. If you're a brand new coach, you feel like nobody wants what you have to offer, it's because you haven't put it out consistently enough. You've got to be talking about it, inviting to it constantly. The winning formula is inviting to it, taking that challenger, moving them to the coaching opportunity, and then teaching them to duplicate what you did. Hopefully that makes sense. So an overview of what we've talked about, perhaps you take a look at the way you're spending your time with your business right now, and maybe you adjust it a little bit. If you're really worried about, if you're spending most of your business time or your power hour crafting a post, if you're spending 45 minutes a day crafting a fancy post or creating really pretty graphics and that kind of thing, maybe you should readjust how your time is being spent to be more focused around those 5 functions of coaching, the 5 functions of successful challenge groups. Remember, the first one is to participate in the group itself, to show that you're proof the products work and to set the example for your challengers. It's also important to be checking in on them. If they're not commenting, if they're not posting every day, check in with them, tag them, send them a private message, do what you need to do to set the bar. Obviously, inviting to them, posting on social media, sending private messages, maybe it's your newsletter, consistently inviting to the challenge group. Lead them, take ownership, sign up to lead them. In case you didn't know this, we do have what are called challenge group guides in the Coach Online office. They're a little corporate, they're worded kind of corporately, but if you make the language your own, you can definitely take those challenge group guides and run with a challenge group of your own. Of course, we're recruiting, meaning we're reaching out to our challengers. My recommendation to you is to pull a report in your Coach Online office or just consistently be aware of when your challengers enroll and go back to them 2 to 3 weeks later and ask them if they're interested in upgrading to a coach account. If they're loving their Shakeology and their results and they're loving the group, why not talk to them about, of course, converting to a coach account? And then obviously asking yourself, what can I do to make this experience better? What can I do to add exceptional value, to create exceptional value from me to my challengers so that people will keep coming to me for challenge groups. So hopefully that's helpful to you. Do you guys have any questions? I'm going to exit out of my PowerPoint. Okay. Any questions about challenge groups? Does that make sense to you as far as why challenge groups are the foundation of our business? If you're not taking them seriously right now, if you're thinking, you know, I sell a challenge pack and then I put people in the group and I just let the team take care of them, maybe think about that some more. Think about how you can be providing your own exceptional value for those challengers. Okay, we've got some questions. I'll take them here. So I only have one size customer. I can't find her group to join. Oh yeah, Katie, I saw you posted that. Yes, we have several sizers in the Fix group right now. In fact, we even have like 2 or 3 coaches who signed with a size challenge pack who are using the Fix containers that came with that size challenge pack, who are checking into the Fix group. So my recommendation is to put her into the Operation 21 Day Fix. Yep, Abby answered it. I didn't even see your answer, Abby. Any other questions, you guys?
I have a question. Can you hear me? And I'm praying to God you can't see me. Yeah. This is Jill.
Hey, Jill.
You can probably imagine. It's Jill.
Do you have on a cat t-shirt?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Do you have on a cat t-shirt?
No, Colts t-shirt today.
Nice.
Okay, so I found it intriguing when you're talking about, you know, obviously I'm new. I don't have as many coaches as the rest of you do. But what I'm wondering, with knowing the people as well as I do that are challengers, whether they're customers or coaches, should I create a separate group for them? Because I notice my people aren't posting as much in the 21 Day Fix group. And some of them are upgrading to new programs, so they're running with it. But I notice they're not posting as much. Should I create a group separately where they might feel more comfortable? Are they annoyed with there's, you know, notifications going off? And what I told them in the beginning, because there are so many people in the group now, turn the notifications off if it gets to be too much, and then check in once a day and scroll through, and it gives me ideas, and that's what I encourage them to do. But should I create a separate group for them? What do you think?
My recommendation to you is to have that conversation with each of them. So
okay.
When you put somebody in a group, if you see that they're not participating or they're not as active as you kind of want them to be, I would reach out to them individually and just say, hey, I noticed you haven't been posting in the group. You know, what's going on? You know, just kind of get a feel for it. They might just say that they're not really a Facebook person and they don't want to check in. I hear that a lot. They don't want to check in the group. Or they might just say, yes, I've been meaning to, thanks for the reminder, you know, or they might say, oh, I find it so motivating, I just don't post myself. So kind of get a feel for each individual person.
Okay.
You most certainly can. I mean, you can always ask them, would you feel better if I created a smaller group? You can always ask that. But I would say, you know, most of the time, what I have encountered is that the person either isn't interested in tuning into Facebook. It's never really a matter of being overwhelmed by the group. It's usually what I hear is that they forget to check in, or they don't want to check in, or it's not, you know, not a priority for them. So it's just kind of up to you, I guess. The other thing that I'll mention is that we have the new My Challenge tracker. So if that might be a better way for you to be communicating with them, sort of like from coach to challenger. So that's another option. If they don't like the Facebook group, or if it's overwhelming, you could ask, you know, hey, we've got this new app that allows me to check in with you each day, and it's separate from Facebook. Would that be more interesting to you?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Thank you. Yep.
Any other questions?
Real quick. So my computer died right when I asked my question, but Abby said you said add her to the 21 Day Fix group. Is that going to be weird for her?
We have several sizers that are in the Fix group right now. And the size challenge pack comes with the Fix containers. So for I have 3 size challengers that are in that challenge group, and they are all now inspired to follow the fixed plan because they're in the fixed group. So I actually think it's better than having just a size group. So
Cool.
That's been my experience. But I mean, you're certainly welcome to start a different group if you'd like.
No. No, thank you. Thank you. That's awesome.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Any other questions about challenge groups?
I have a quick question.
Yep.
When do you suggest that we start running our own groups? I've had a lot of people doing the 21-day fix, and I've just been putting them in that group because they seem to all like the interactiveness with it. There's so many people. I was on a different team, and I would have my own challenge groups, and there would only be like 3 people. And if you didn't have active participants,
Right.
it got kind of boring for anybody that was doing anything. So I just wasn't sure if you recommended doing it solo group or doing the larger option.
I mean, I should say that I think it's really just up to each individual. If some people just feel a strong inclination to want to just lead their own and have a smaller group just because that's what they prefer. My personal opinion is you should be doing the least amount of effort, the least amount of work, but still be providing exceptional value for your challenger. So in your case, I know you're busy. You've got a little one, a newborn. You're doing a lot right now. So my opinion is, put them into the group that we know is working. Encourage them to check in. Tag them if they're not. Create that great experience for them. Between you and them in that group versus creating something new that you then have to manage. That's my 2 cents. So anytime you can take advantage of the team-led group, my opinion is you might as well go for that. I mean, I do know, obviously, we have a lot of people in these groups, but I find that people are more inspired to check into the larger groups than they are a small group. So they're, when they see other people doing it, they feel inspired to do it. So that would be my 2 cents on that. The one other thing I was going to say though too, I know we did a webinar recently, maybe December, where I talked about running like 7-day groups or 5-day Shakeology sampler groups. I think we have a webinar recording on running free groups. That is something that you could consider doing on your own. You could consider running, if it were me and I was starting my business today, knowing what I know now, and I was, striving for 3 Lives Club consistently, I was looking for new customers so that I could constantly be adding to challenge groups. What I would do is I would consider having sort of an end of the month 3, 5, or 7-day group. It would either be a free group or it would be, the Shakeology sampler pack would be required. And I would do that consistently every single month. I would always put it out there that I was doing that. Because we all know that the first time doesn't always go over so well. So I would do that all the time, every month, and I would put people in that with the goal of then signing them as a customer on a challenge pack at the first of the month. So that my month looked like securing 3 Lives Club early, putting them into the team-led challenge group, and then the end of the month, I'm kind of setting up my foundation for the next month. I have a 5-day free group that I'm then going to move people from that to the next month. Does that make sense? That would be how I would handle it if if that wasn't completely different than what I've been doing. So. All right, I'll take one more question, and of course, you guys are welcome to send me a message if you need to later. Any other questions on challenge groups? Okay, so my question to you would be this, or my challenge, I guess, to you to wrap it up would be this. What is it about our challenge groups or the challenge group that you started in, if you were a challenger first, what is it that you love the most? Like, what is it that really fires you up? For me, I really, I don't know if you guys saw that or not. A challenger posted, and we have a lot of posts, so I have to really take my time and read through them. But I always I always read in detail my own challengers' posts. And so I noticed today that I have a challenger who's been in the fix group who literally posted like it was just a side note today. Like, oh, I got on the scale, I'm down 25 pounds. Have nutrition on, like she said it in passing. And I'm like, what? 25 pounds? Like that needs to be in capitals or something, girl. Like that is not just there's no period at the end of that sentence. Like there needs to be an exclamation point. So anyway, there are certain things that really fire me up. Like I love the results component, but I also love the check-ins. I also love the inspiration that people provide. I love seeing challengers friend each other outside the groups. I remember seeing Abby and Shauna, who were in the same challenge group 3 years ago, friend each other outside the group and comment on each other's posts. It's really cool to see. Like those are relationships that people wouldn't otherwise have. That's support that people wouldn't otherwise have. So what are those details that you love about challenge groups? That is what we're selling. We're selling support. People can buy P90X and Shakeology from the website. Okay, so what we're selling is ourselves, our coaching, our motivation, our support, our challenge groups, our team. That's what you should be actively putting out there on a daily basis, inviting to those small details that connect. So that's my challenge for you. Think about what it is that you love the most about challenge groups and focus on creating your 5 functions around that, performing your 5 functions around that. Okay, so I'm going to wrap it up. I will post the recording in the team page first thing tomorrow morning. Thank you guys for being on here and for your patience. If you have any other questions, feel free to post them in the team page or reach out to me. No team call next week. I'll be on the cruise ship. So I will see you in 2 weeks. Have a good night.